Hello, and welcome to the first episode of the Director's Commentaries series. This is going to be part of the All Things Filmmaking tab, which is available for members only. So if you're watching this, you're a member, and I cannot be more thankful and grateful for your support. So thank you for your support. Thank you for supporting this channel, my art, and my work so that I can provide back to you. So, without further ado, let's dive right into today's episode, which I'm thinking of exploring the season 3, episode 3, which is why I'm relearning how to live in India. So, let's dive right in, and I'm gonna explain how I shot this video. Okay, so first up, let's just talk about the opening quote, which is, after a certain age, you're no longer a product of your environment or upbringing. How you live becomes a personal choice. Now, this is something that means a lot to me because I am someone who believes strongly in the fact that you need to be someone who lives by not just your own rules, but also to be doing that in a way where you get control over the things that you want to do in your life. So if you decide how you want to live, then it will decide how everything else around you also will be. So obviously this video, as some of you have probably already watched it, will know that it's about my struggles with dealing with the summer's heat in India. Specifically during the month of April 2025, it was absolutely hell. It's the worst summer I have ever experienced personally, and yeah, this quote just came out to me during that time, and I just knew that I had to live a certain way in order to live and survive, and not just survive but also thrive in these Indian conditions that I was not used to. Right, so let's dive right in.
As we grow older, responsibilities stack up. Adulting is not easy, and that makes taking time out for self-care essential. While some things that shape our mood and personality are within our control, like who we spend time with or what media we consume, there are other subtle, inescapable forces we just have to learn to live with. I moved to India 2 months ago, and saying it's been hectic would be an understatement. A lot of travel for work and pleasure, meeting new and old people, throw in the fact that my phone usage has drastically gone up in this period, has all made me severely overstimulated. And the worst enemy of all for me right now is an invisible force of energy, a challenge thrown at me that I have no choice but to deal with in order to quite literally.
Right, before the climax of the introduction, I just wanted to speak a little bit about the starting visuals, right? You saw, for those of you who know, this is Philip. Philip is one of my best friends, and over here, basically what was happening was Philip actually moved to Pune as well, right, with me. And well, he doesn't stay with me, but he also moved to Pune because we are doing the same freelance gig right now. And this recording, as you saw, was basically the process of us moving his plants that he had in his Mumbai home, and we were packing it up and bringing it with us to Pune. I had already shifted, he was shifting in that particular week. So we were heading back to Pune by cab, and we had to bring his money plant. I think he called it Bob initially. I'm not sure what his name is now, but because I think it has changed. But Bob was something that we had to carry with us. And Bob is still alive, still thriving in Philip's new house, which you guys will be able to see in one of my future videos as well. But yeah, just a quick, short little context about who that was and why we were doing that. And yeah, the rest of it was just pretty much introductory. Let's just go back to where we were.
What to deal with in order to quite literally survive.
Right, music's picking
This was
up.
a curveball I never expected life to hurl at me, and that I would find myself struggling to face this fierce.
Anyone who's
slightly
watching the video
back-
still probably does not have any
Singapore,
idea
where I'm
that I'm
from,
actually
is no
talking about the
stranger to this
heat.
feeling, but the fact that this monster of a problem has reared itself in a form that I have never had to deal with before for a prolonged period is what has caused me to fail at conquering this task so far.
I am, of course, talking
Music goes
about
down.
dealing
with the summer's heat.
Turn around. Music. So
Back when I lived in Singapore, I remember talking.
So essentially what's happening over here is I'm trying to have a build up, essentially, right? I am trying to make this seem really, really tense and portray it in a as cinematic way as I can. And I love using musical cues, I love using silence in order to really exacerbate on a certain point. Let's
I
continue.
remember talking to a friend about why so many people wear sport foul boots, are constantly exhausted, and have no time for self-care practices that can induce a bit of terror in their lives.
Tear off. This is a word that you guys have definitely seen multiple times across my videos. Tear off is something that means so much to me, right? The translation means stillness. So stillness is something that I truly want to imbibe in my being, quite literally. There's so much overstimulation happening all around us. You know, there's ads being thrown at us, there's the heat, there's so many elements that are out of our control. What is something that we can do to make sure this is better? And Terav is that thing. So stillness is something that I try to find in every aspect of my life, and you know, I had to mention it in this video. It's not something I mention in every video, but I just felt like it was something that needed to be mentioned because of how intense everything was.
Despite the country ranking high on happiness index surveys, several of my friends are struggling to make ends meet, including myself before I emigrated. So my friend and I concluded that the survey may not have taken into consideration one important factor: the weather. That the relentless heat and humidity drains you day after day, leaving little space for joy or peace. After more than 25 years of experiencing Singapore's climate, I know that irritability is a huge factor amongst the citizens. At comparable GDP levels to Singapore, there's a reason why colder countries are usually considered having a better standard of living, since there is a major resistance they don't have to deal with. Even if we may be used to the high temperatures, our bodies are still constantly fighting the elements to maintain physical and mental stability.
Right, before again the musical cue after the talking head to indicate a different section of the
Now
video,
that I've shifted
and
to
something's about to change right now. Before we go into that change, I just wanted to speak a little bit about this frame that I have, right? Apart from a few instances in this entire video, in this particular instance I am using a light that's illuminating my face, but for the rest of the video, keep an eye out. I'm actually not using my lights so much for any of the B-roll shots. I do have a few shirts, but I chose this one specifically to wear for this video because I wanted to show how drab can also be overstimulating. It's not just a barrage of colors and bright things like we're exposed to on our phones, for example, right? With all the colorful apps we have, and when we scroll there's something new or the other happening constantly. In this case, I wanted to show how overstimulation can still happen even if you're wearing something drab, and that also extended into the lighting for the rest of the video. Most of what I shot here was also confined to one room, and that was also done because I wanted to once again exaggerate that effect of feeling overstimulated by being contained within one space. So it's just one thing, but it's overstimulating. It's not a bunch of different things and you're handling a lot of different things. It's just this one thing, and it's so much. All right, let's get back to the video. Music cue. Once again, a little bit of
Now that I've
orchestra,
shifted to Pune,
cinematic
city
music
which offers
to
dry heat
indicate,
in the summers,
you know,
I found
something
myself
intense
facing
is
this
about to
arrival
happen.
head on. The dry heat hits hard. It doesn't just drain you, it changes you. It makes me sluggish, irritable, constantly on edge. I never expected to struggle this much, especially with
So
something I
this
thought
shot right here is inspired by Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, where Voldemort sort of does this when Harry's having that visual when he's at platform 9 3/4 and Voldemort is dressed in this like prim and proper suit and everything, and that was basically the intention. I wanted to show that sort of edginess to my character in this video, the same way Voldemort was in that scene.
I had already conquered. It feels like walking into a wall of heat, absolutely unmoved in the still air. Any movement in this heat feels instantly lethargic.
Walking through the heat, feeling sluggish, that's why I shot this in a low shutter mode where you can see me walking, but the motion blur does not look natural, right? It looks like it's a little slow. It looks like I'm making a little bit of an effort to walk. So this is all basically camera tricks. Lower your shutter speed and you can get this shot. Of course, it was a really bright day environment, so have an ND filter, definitely.
Dust here, more than any Indian city I've experienced, makes it
This
worse.
was actually really
My
bad.
hands
My
feel
fingers
dry
were
all the
really, really dry.
I wash them more often, but excessive
peeling
soap
off.
usage just makes them more rough. I found myself reaching out
Yeah,
more
this
often
was
for
real.
lotions that I can lather myself up with. While they have been mildly effective, the problem still exists.
This shot, I absolutely love it. I think the lighting is just perfect. It's evenly lit. It was an overcast day. Just everything about this frame just looks intense to me. It's drab. There's not so much color happening. It's basically just whites, browns, and a bit of green. The green is the only thing that's adding a little bit of color, a little bit of pop into the image. But apart from that, it's a drab, dry image. Exactly what the audio is saying. Cucumber as a snack slaps, by the
Productivity
way.
has taken a
Once again,
significant
the musical cue, it ends dramatically to make a reveal
which is
of
why I
me
think investing
buying
in this
the
chunky
cooler.
boy over here was quite worth it.
I wanted to show the essential organs of the body. Obviously, this is a very bad representation, bad VFX being done. I am not a VFX artist, so this is the best I could do in a very short span of time. But it gets the point across. We have the outline of the body, which kind of makes it look like it's a dead body, which again further exacerbates and exaggerates this whole idea of how I was quite literally dying while I was experiencing this heat. And yeah, just showing the brain, showing the heart, and most importantly showing how my stomach, my gut was the one that was suffering the most. So just a little bit of a fire emoji, also going with the whole heat thing. So like fire, heat, you see what I'm trying to do over here. And then some slightly uncomfortable close-up shots of the mouth while I'm eating. I'm really glad to say that my screen time has significantly dropped since making this video. This was about a month or 2 months ago now almost, and since then I have made a conscious effort to reduce my screen time, and I've honestly felt so much better. It could also be that the summer only lasted a month, and since then it has been raining on and off, and now it's almost end of June. Monsoon is in full swing and it has been raining almost every day. It's humid weather and it's cool weather, so it's something I am definitely pleasantly enjoying, but phone screen time has definitely gone down by a lot. 40% was how much I managed to get my screen time down from the previous week, from the week before that. So yeah, I think I'm doing well. And then some POV phone shots. This was basically just using my phone clamp and attaching the camera like right next to my body and following the phone around in different places. So once again, with the musical cue and the dialogues that I'm saying, it's increasing in its tempo. It's once again to show that intensity of what I was feeling with the slew of apps that I've been exposed to since moving to India. After all of that, it feels really nice to just see a shot of me sitting on a swing and doing nothing. Terav.
I've also noticed a rather ugly and hostile side of Pune that isn't prevalent in any other Indian city I have been to. Road rage.
Kind of like
Every
milk,
time I've been-
right? You leave it on the stove to heat up and it's just slowly heating up, the moment you look away, it's boiling over and it just overflows. That's basically the idea that I had in my mind as I was writing the script, and that's basically what I was trying to convey over here. Unfortunately, the visuals for this particular segment were not the best. I was not able to capture that much road rage. I was not able to capture that much traffic. So traffic, absolutely horrendous. Add heat to that, you are definitely going to see people getting angry and angsty on the road.
In a bid to desperately seek comfort in the country I now call home, it's high time I start listening to my body. The human body is a beautifully designed piece of machinery.
So by this point, I have explained everything that's been happening, all the intensity of all of that, and from here on out, I'll be explaining how I'll be improving that situation. So hence the slightly cringe. This is the owner's flat, and he has these kind of decors on the walls. So that's why I wanted to show a little bit of that level of laugh, and of course Evie appearing almost so perfectly, right? I do exaggerate things to show it in a more cinematic way. So these are all things that I have done. I was sipping on more lemonade, I was eating more fruits, I was eating more ice cream, even though I'm not that big of a fan of ice cream, hence this reaction that you saw in the video. This is a channel where I'm being honest and humble and vulnerable with everyone, and I cannot be caught lying. It's as simple as that. So please do understand that I do actually do all of these things. I may not do them all the time, but I do incorporate most, if not all, of the things that I talk about in my videos, and in this case, eating ice cream.
Something light like yoga and stretching, as suggested by
Another
the
thing
personal
I'm
friend,
so happy
something I
to
want to
say and declare that I actually have started doing yoga. It's been more than 2 weeks now of doing yoga every single day, and it's honestly helped a lot. If you have seen some of my later videos, you know that I have a rhomboid issue in my shoulder blade area, and that pain has not completely gone away, but it has significantly reduced over the last 2 weeks. A video on yoga is definitely coming up soon, by the way. But yeah, just 2 months ago, I was struggling to not do any stretches or do any kind of exercise because of the heat, because I had just moved to India, and so many reasons. But I'm really glad to announce that I have started doing yoga, and it has shown benefits. So yeah, sometimes the things that I say in my videos, I may say them, but I haven't done those things yet. But trust me that I will eventually get to it. Terra, stillness. I go a little slow, but I do those things. As you saw from that visual, I was watching the animated Spider-Man show that came out in, I think, January of this year, and I had just finally finished watching it while I was recording this video, and that was what inspired me to make my next video, the one after this that released, which was about Spider-Man. I think that's something I would love to talk about. So let me know if you want to hear about the behind the scenes for that one as well. This is me and Philip, by the way, working at our freelance gig.
mastering the art of saying no to plans and commitments that don't add much value to me, even if it comes at the cost of disappointing someone.
Happened to me a couple of weeks ago.
This summer has reminded me that I can't control all aspects of my surroundings, but I can control how I let it affect me, by building a new routine to adjust and adapt to the challenges of my new environment. That's the goal. Stay cool, take care, see you in the next video.
So yeah, that was basically the end of the video. So since season 3 has started, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I have been adding a little bit of mid-credit scene or a post-credit scene, just so that you stay all the way till the end. There's always information to give out. I know you're on a platform like YouTube where you can easily click away from it, but that's not the goal I have for you as a viewer. My videos, if you look at the description, for most of my videos I have kept this one line that says, please try to watch any of my videos on the biggest screen possible and with the best audio quality possible as well, because that was the intention with which I made these videos. I have been told by a few people that sometimes when they watch my videos, they can't do other things while they're watching my videos. Well, sorry, but that's probably just not my target audience. I want my target audience to be the ones who are healing with me and who are growing along with this journey with me, where you are also imbibing the values that I try to talk about in these videos, such as terav, stillness. If you're doing something else while watching my videos, then you're probably not my target audience, and that's okay. But ideally, I would love if you could pay attention. It's just 10 minutes for this video. Just have to pay attention for 10 minutes for each video that I upload, and that's about it. You're gonna enjoy the video to its maximum potential, the way I intended it to be consumed. And once again, thank you so much for your support and becoming a member of this channel, where you get access to these special videos which I'm making just for you guys. If you guys have any other suggestions or comments, please let me know in the comments below, and I am really looking forward to making another one of these very soon. Also, if you want to consider becoming a higher tier member of this channel, you will get access to an exclusive video series called the Art Series, which is about me being awfully real, hence the name Awfully Real Tejas. It means a lot to me that you are here enjoying and consuming my art. So thank you once again, practice terav, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.